if my calorie target for the day was 1,600 and I wanted to go for a social meal out and I wanted to use the calorie banking method, this is how I would plan my day. Now, a big one is when you have a smaller amount of calories available, I would suggest not going for pre-made meals and not going for foods that meals that don't involve a lot of vegetables. So when you have less calories available, and 1,600 calories, ladies, is not a lot. For a lot of you, 1,600 calories will be where you are doing a cut. Yeah, it's not where you're doing a build. Yes, for some it may be their starting calories, but their starting calories for a lot of females, when I start them off, I can't actually start them on where they need to be because their perception of calories is a little bit warped because they may be under eating for some time. So let's say, for example, you are someone who are currently on around 1,600 calories. You may not actually be at maintenance calories, even though that's where we want you to be. I might have you a little bit lower than that because the emotional rigmarole, in a negative way, that comes with needing to eat enough is something that I need to build you into. Okay, I want to just put that concept aside for now, and I want to get back to how I would plan my day if I was eating 1,600 calories and I was going for a meal out. Now, I want to really highlight to you that to be successful with your nutrition when you're calorie banking, you do need to plan ahead. That is a huge part. You need to plan ahead. So this is how I would plan ahead. Now, I also want to highlight, it's one thing to make a plan in MyFitnessPal. The next layer is actually weighing and measuring your food to match what you have planned in MyFitnessPal. Yeah, so you've got two layers here. You've got the plan you're going to create so that you can see that digitally or like on paper, that's what you're going to eat. But then putting it into practice, which is the actual weighing and measuring food, that's the other layer, and that's not what I'm showing you here. I'm not showing you how to weigh and measure food. That's something you need to do yourself with your scales at home. Okay, so let's get back to this goal, which is to plan my 1,600 calorie day. So for breakfast, like I mentioned before, I want to make sure I'm eating lots of vegetables on this day because vegetables are lower in calories and they bulk up my day. I have quite a bit of food in front of me to be able to eat. So I want to include a lot of vegetables. My goal here is to include vegetables at most meals. I need to try and hit at least 2/3 of my protein target, okay? So for 1,600 calories, I'm going to allow 700 calories to be able to eat out, which means for the food that I have planned here, I want to hit around 900 calories. So I have to be quite strategic with my day to hit 900 calories. Like I said, I can't eat pre-made meals because if I eat a pre-made meal, that's 500 of my 900 calories gone already. I'm way better off planning diligently my day. So this is how I'd go about it. For breakfast, I'm going to eat a mainly egg white omelette. So I go add food. I'm going to type in egg whites. I'm going to use Farmer's Pride egg whites, and I click on Farmer's Pride, and I'm going to have 150 grams of egg whites. So I click on there, number of serves, it says mils. You can either use mils or grams. Mils and grams are interchangeable, yeah? So obviously when you're using a liquid, it would say mils, but that's kind of equivalent to grams if you're weighing and measuring on the scales. So I go 1 mil, and I want to use 150 of those. I click save, and I click tick at the top. I go back, I look at my diary, I've got 150 mils of egg whites. Then I add food, and I'm going to add in shredded spinach, SPIN, spinach, baby leaf spinach. I click on that, and I'm going to add in, let's say 40 grams of spinach. Make sure that it's in 1 gram. I click save, I click tick. Then I go back, I'm going to add in tomato, grape tomato. Yep, let's go those small tomatoes. And let's add in 80 grams of tomato. Click, tick. Okay. Oh, I'm just going to, oh, hang on, go back. Yep, tomatoes. Okay, so I can see this meal already of 150 grams of egg whites, a baby spinach and tomatoes. If I have a look under calories remaining, it says I've got 1,600 calories, and I've planned the food that I put in already is 88 calories. I've still got a lot of calories to use. Remember, my goal is 900 calories. So I'm going to add in my cooking oil because I'm going to use spray oil in the pan. So I go spray, olive oil spray, generic. And my olive oil spray, even a light olive oil spray, I like to over-guesstimate it. And for that reason, I usually put in around 5 grams of olive oil. So I go number of servings, 1. I just want to click on that down arrow to see what it offers. So I'm going to put in 1 mil, yeah, because I want my entries to be standardized. So I'm going to put in 5 mils of oil. I click save. I click tick at the top. I go back. Okay, so I've got 150 grams of egg whites, 40 grams of spinach, 80 grams of tomatoes. I've got my olive oil spray. I've consumed 106 grams of food, 106 calories already. I'm going to add to this a muffin. English muffin. Now, what's an English muffin? Oh, okay, so an English muffin is 120 calories itself, which is interesting. It's not a no. It's just interesting to see that my egg whites and my spinach and olive oil and tomato already is only 88 calories, and the muffin itself is 120. So I'm going to put that in. I'll go back. Okay, so of my food, I've consumed 206 calories for the day. And do you know what? I know that if I eat that for breakfast, I am going to go to training. So I'm going to want to have a snack around training. And I'm going to put in my protein shake. So I go to morning tea, I add food, I type in whey, protein, vanilla whey. I click on that. Now 1 scoop is 35 grams. I'm going to add in 1.5 scoops. So I'm going to allow my scoop of protein powder to be, let's say I'm going to put in 50 grams of protein powder. I go click save. I go back. Okay, so with this entry so far of my breakfast and my protein powder, I've got 430 calories that I've used. Now remember, my goal for the day is around 900 calories, which gives me around 700 calories to be able to eat out on. So with what I've got entered here already, I just want to see where my protein's at. So remember, I want to consume around 2/3 of my protein. So I go to remaining and I click on the subcategory at the top which says nutrients. Okay, now I can see that for my protein for the day, my goal is 143 grams. That's what I'd usually try and consume for the day. And I've consumed around 60 grams of protein. So I need to make sure my lunch has a good chunk of protein in it. Okay, so because I need to have more protein in my day for my to cover for my meal out. So I go back to the diary. Oh, yep, here it is here. Okay, now, so I've got breakfast, I've got my snack. I'm going to now add in my lunch. For lunch, I'm going to add in a piece of barramundi because I know that barramundi has high protein, low fat. So for my barramundi, I'm going to consume 120 grams of fish, 120. Make sure that's in 1 gram per 1 gram. Yep, save, click tick. and then I go back. With that fish, I'm going to add a salad. So I'm just going to type in mixed salad. Oh, actually, no, let's go mixed veg. That's easier. Mixed veg frozen, 100 grams. Do you know what? I want to actually be quite specific with my mixed veg. And I'm going to type in bird's eye, those pre-made sachets of frozen veg. So I'm going to type in bird's eye frozen veg. Does it give me another option? No, it's already history. Bird's eye frozen veg. That's what I want. So it is an 80 gram serve of veg. It's already preloaded. I'm going to press tick and I go back. Okay, let's see where I'm at. Oh, awesome. So far for my food for the day, I'm consuming 565 calories of my 900 calorie target. So what I want to do is I'm eating barramundi for lunch, 120 grams worth. I've got my frozen veg in there, and I'm just going to season it with salt and pepper. Now, salt and pepper doesn't have calories. Well, it doesn't have a lot anyway, but I'm just going to put that in anyway. Salt and pepper. Salt and pepper. Let's have a look at the calories. No calories. A third of a teaspoon. Let's click tick just so that that's in there. Now I've got to consider how I'm going to cook my barramundi. So if I was going to pan fry my barramundi, I obviously need to put my spray of olive oil in there, but I'm not. I'm going to air fry it. So I just wanted you to note that, ladies, because if you are pan frying your barramundi, you're going to need to add it in with the oil, but I'm not. I just want to highlight that I'm going to air fry it. Okay, so now let me have a look at, I still have around 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I still have around 400 calories remaining. Now, this is a really great thing to note. If you are going out for dinner, it's really important that you don't get to that social meal out and you are ravenous. So for that reason, I personally consume a slow release protein powder before I go out, and that is a casein protein. So in my afternoon tea, I'm going to put in casein, C-A-I-S-K. Oh, am I spelling it incorrect? Let's see. C-A-K-I-S-E-I-N, casein. That's not correct. Okay, I know it is Gentech. I know that's the brand. Gentech. Protein. I am struggling here, so you know what I'm going to do? Maybe it's not Gentech. Nope. Tech. I would have thought it's in my history. It's not. Okay, let's have a look at protein. Now, a lot of these foods are preloaded in my MyFitnessPal, but they are not currently. So let me scroll through. These are all in my history. I'm looking for casein protein because I'm not good at spelling. I do not have it in here. I've got my WPI, which is my that is my whey protein, but I need my casein protein. Okay. Casein. I swear that's how you spell casein. Okay, let's just Google it. Let's Google Gentech Nutrition. Gentech Creatine. Gentech Casein Custard. That's what I want. Okay, Gentech Casein Protein. Casein. C-A-S. That's where I went wrong. Okay. C-A-S-E-I-N. Maybe I don't have it protein. Casein protein. Here it is. I don't have it preloaded. I do. Casein protein. Here we are, casein protein. So casein protein is a slow release protein. Yeah, your WPI, which is your whey protein, is a fast release protein. That's what I want around training. But my casein protein is slow digesting. Hence why I want it for afternoon tea, so that I don't get to dinner time and be ravenous. So I'm going to type in casein protein, and I'm going to press search, and I'm going to put in 1 scoop, which is 120 calories, tick. Now, let me just go back, see where I'm at. Awesome, I've still got more calories to consume. So, of my 1,600 calories, I've consumed 686. Oh, that's close to my goal. I've got 900 remaining. Now remember, like I said at the beginning, I was allowing for 700 to 800 calories for my meal out. So I can have a little bit more, but I just want to, before I go into that, I just want to talk about casein protein for a little bit more, because my favorite casein protein is that Gentech brand. You can get, what's the other one? The other one, well-known one, is that Muscle Nation casein protein. That's a great brand as well. So when it comes to protein powders, find one that you like, yeah, and stick with that. I love the Gentech coconut custard or coconut cream flavor. It is my absolute favorite. Now, I'm going to mix my casein protein with water, not with milk. If I was to mix it with milk, it would have a total different flavor, but it would be adding calories. Now, if I wanted to go for an almond milk, I could, but you know what? I just want the protein consumption. I don't really need the extra calories, so I'm just going to mix it with water. Now, the great thing about that Gentech brand that I found is it is actually like a custard consistency, which I really love. So I have my egg white omelette with vegetables, and I have a muffin to go with it. I've included my olive oil spray. For morning tea, I'm having a vanilla whey protein. I'm mixing that with water around my training. For lunch, I'm having barramundi with frozen veg, and I'm adding salt and pepper. Note that I'm going to air fry it so I don't add extra calories with oil. For my afternoon tea, I'm having casein protein. I'm going to add in some fruit in here because I've still got a couple of calories remaining. Now, before I choose what fruit to add, I just want to make sure where I am with my protein. Wow, I have totally hit my protein target for today, which was to try and consume at least 2/3 of my protein. I'm actually, with this plan, consuming 109 calories of protein. 109 grams of protein. I'm more than happy with that. So I go back, and now I'm going to add some fruit in. So I'm going to add in some fruit to my morning tea. Let's say that I go for a banana, which is what I'd usually go for, banana. Now, usually a banana is around 100 grams, like that's your average banana. I select plus, I go back. Of my food, with my banana, I have 700 calories that I've consumed with 857 remaining. Now, I can stop right there. I can go, awesome. I've got 857 calories to consume for my meal out. But let's say for my afternoon tea, I'm just a little bit peckish. So I want to add in, I'm going to add in some berries. Let's add in some strawberries, S-T-R-A-W, strawberries, there we are. Let's say that with and I'm going to add in 100 grams of strawberries. Let's say with that with those strawberries and casein protein, I actually want to turn that into like a smoothie, because if I just eat the casein protein by itself with the strawberries, that's totally fine. But what gives me a little bit more volume, which food volume, like I mentioned before, adding salad and vegetables, gives me bulk in food without the calories. So if I zhuzh it up in a bullet or in a smoothie, in a blender, it actually gives me a lot more volume. So I feel like I'm consuming more food, but without all the calories. So I'm going to add it in as a smoothie with water, or sorry, I'm going to add in almond milk, but I'm going to put a little bit of crushed ice in it as well. So I'm not going to put crushed ice in here because crushed ice is 0 calories, but I just want you to take note of that's what I'm going to be doing. So I'm going to add in here almond milk. ALMON, almond. Oh, what is going on here? Almond milk. Unsweetened almond milk, that's what I want. 250 mils, number of servings 0.5. Nope, I actually want 1 serving of 250 mils. It's only 43 calories. Awesome, I can totally fit that in. Press tick. I go back. What is happening? Here it is. Did that add in my almond milk? Oh, having a meltdown. Let's go back. I hope you saved. Diary, yes, thank goodness. Okay, so awesome. My almond milk is in there. Yes, this is a successful day. Now let's double check that this is a successful day of eating for my meal out. So number 1, my first priority is within my calorie target. So I decided for my 1600 calories for the day, I was going to allow for around 700 calories to 800 calories for my meal out. And I can see at the top where it says remaining, I've got 782 calories for my meal out. That is awesome. That was my target. Number 2, I want to make sure that I'm consuming at least 2/3 of my protein target. Now to check that, I go into calories remaining. I go across to that subcategory at the top, which is nutrients, and I can see for my protein for the day, I've consumed 130 130 grams. Awesome. I'm more than 2/3 of my protein done for the day. I go back. Hang on, where are you? Oh, that's yesterday, sorry. Today. Oh my God, I hate all these ads on MyFitnessPal. Okay, so I've got 700 calories remaining, big tick. I've consumed at least 2/3 of my protein for the day, big tick. And I've got plenty of vegetables in my day. So it's not as if the foods that I've chosen are foods that are high in calories and I don't have a lot of food to consume. Actually, when I look at my day, I'm like, wow, are you sure that I can fit all of this food in for the day? And these choices that I'm making, and the afternoon tea being a smoothie that I've zhuzhed up in my blender or my bullet, is going to add some bulk rather than that just being casein protein that I eat with a bunch of strawberries and have a glass of milk. I can consume it like that, but it's just going to be more in a blender. So ladies, this is great. This is how I would calorie bank for a meal out. Let me know if you've got any questions.